The meeting to order, if I may. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us at our last meeting for 2022. And as we begin this morning's meeting, let us begin with our land acknowledgement. Let us take a moment to acknowledge we are on the lands that have been and continue to be home to many Indigenous peoples, including the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat peoples. We are all treaty people. Many of us have come here as settlers, as immigrants, or involuntarily as part of the transatlantic slave trade in this generation or generations past. We acknowledge the historic and continued impacts of colonization and the need to work towards meaningful reconciliation with the original caretakers of this land. We acknowledge that Metrolinx operates on territories and lands covered by many treaties that affirm and value the rights of Indigenous communities, nations, and peoples. We understand the importance of working towards reconciliation with the original caretakers of this land. At Metrolinx, we will conduct business in a manner that is built on a foundation of trust, respect, and collaboration. So thank you. I'm now going to invite our Chief Planning Officer, Carla Avis-Birch, to share a safety briefing with us. Carla?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good morning, everybody. I just wanted to share a safety moment around winter personal safety. So in terms of preparedness at the organization, of course, we're getting ready our trains and our buses, snow clearing devices, making sure that our snow clearing and ice products for rail platforms are well in place and in hand. We got a lot of rain over the last little while, but it easily could have been snow, and in different areas of the region, it changes very quickly, not only day to day, but throughout the day as well. We just want to remind us all and everyone that's listening to us today to take care on the step moving into the train as you are walking in. Sometimes it could be wet or slippery or full of ice or snow, and you want to make sure that you're taking your time to get into the train safely. We also want you to just take care in getting to the train and maybe not running up those stairs as we're late getting to the train at times, to make sure that your boots and your shoes could be slippery, and that may cause you to slip and hurt yourself. Thank you.
Thanks, Carla. So before we continue with our agenda, I want to take a quick moment to congratulate Phil and the entire Metrolinx team on being recognized with 3 separate safety awards from the Canadian Occupational Safety. And Phil would be the first one to say that safety at Metrolinx is very much a team. It's not just the CEO or just the senior management team, but it's everyone that works here, all the board and whatever, and we take this extremely seriously. Metrolinx was named an excellent awardee for being one of Canada's safest public transportation employer and for having one of Canada's best health and safety culture. Our CEO, Phil, was also recognized with the Workplace Safety and Prevention Services CEO of the Year Award. This award recognizes CEOs who have successfully driven safety strategies from the top by putting people first and championing innovative safety values. Safety continues to be front and center, not only as we move hundreds of thousands of people through our bus and rail services, but also in delivering the complex capital program, the largest in our history. Whether it is on construction sites, road closures, protocols, or delivering new systems reliably, safety has and continues to be a priority for us as a board, and I want to thank Phil and his team for their ongoing efforts. Thank you, Phil. Recognition like this reflects yours and the team's dedication and daily focus on this serious matter of safety. So on behalf of the board, I also want to congratulate a fellow board member, Robert Poirier, on being appointed to the Order of Canada. Congratulations, Robert.
Thank you.
The following correspondence has been distributed to the board. A letter from Rick Ciccarelli, dated September the 8th, Remount Dennis and the Eglinton Crosstown West Extension. A letter from Dev Chopra, received November the 18th, regarding the Yonge North Subway Extension Project. A letter from John Stillage, received November the 1st regarding transit plans for the GTA, and letters from Davis and Rhonda Costas Mirza received November 24th and 27th regarding trees located at Osgood Hall. And we've also received numerous letters from Build the Park and other concerned citizens over the past 2 months regarding plans for the Don Valley layover facility. These letters and all other submissions can be found on our website. On our agenda today are our usual quarterly reports along with progress updates on GO, Op Express, and Rapid Transit capital projects, a presentation on how we are engaging with our communities, and updates on our continued campaign to welcome customers back to our transportation system. I now invite Phil Verster, our CEO, to give his update. Phil?
Thank you very much, Chair, and good morning, everyone. We've had a very busy couple of months since we last reported to you, and a lot has happened, but we remain focused on providing reliable train services, reliable bus services, reliable Presto services, and of course, building transit and working with our communities during this time. I'd like to start off by remarking that following several months of negotiations with the Amalgamated Transit Union, we reached an agreement with the leadership on November 11th on a tentative agreement, and with ATU membership on November the 17th. Through these conversations, we learned a lot. We learned about opportunities to improve work-life balance for our employees, especially from our frontline workers. And as part of the new collective bargaining agreement, we are now announcing shift premiums, reducing split shifts, and increasing time between work assignments. I just want to publicly thank everyone from the leadership of the union and our employees for reaching a resolution to these negotiations. We're also very excited about the Presto contactless payment solution that we launched with credit on Go Transit, Brampton Transit, Oakville Transit, and Mississauga's My Way. And this allows customers to use their credit cards instead of a Presto card to pay their fare and provide even more options and channels for people to travel. And since launching this on August 11th, there's been almost 334,000 transactions, and by today that number would have been higher already. And this is an exciting next step for us to promote new ways of paying for transit. On our ridership, we're seeing a steady growth and return to the pre-COVID levels. In September, we got to nearly 60% of pre-COVID ridership. And where we are today is a very interesting place. We literally have, by unique number of customers, the same number of customers that we had pre-COVID. Some people are just traveling less frequent. And behaviors, therefore, that have been affected during COVID will continue to affect our ridership reinstates itself. But we're returning rush hour trips on the Bolton and Barrie lines, and year-round service to Niagara was introduced in October. And the services we added in October had a real positive impact on ridership and customer satisfaction. And so we offered very many opportunities to attend sporting events and events in the region itself. Events like the Diwali celebrations, the Blue Jays wildcard games, Leafs home games, and the Toronto International Film Festival were all events that we supported through our adjustments of services. And on December 5, the 5th, we will add even more services by returning some of the rush hour services on the Lakeshore West and Kitchener lines. And systematically over the next year or so, we'll be reinstating services as we go along. Now, throughout the last quarter, we also launched several great customer experience initiatives, including our new partnership with Legible and our official ebook partners. And through this sponsorship, Go customers have access to 4 complimentary ebooks every year. We also renewed a 3-year agreement with Purolator to keep their current retail locations at our Go stations going, and that provides alternatives for people to get their packages delivered in a convenient way. We've also built up partnerships with Visa and Amex to support Presto's new contactless program for Go Transit and Up Express. and that's very exciting. And Sharon will share some of these ideas on what we've done in marketing and with partnerships later on in this open session. On the capital side, several major milestones has been achieved. We made huge steps forward on the Ontario line. We awarded contracts to Ontario Transit Group to deliver the South Civils, stations and tunnels contract, and to connect 6 for the rolling stock systems and operations and maintenance contract. These are 2 of the 3 big packages to build the Ontario line. The third package of the Ontario line, we disaggregated into different packages, and we have gone to market with requests for qualifications for 2 big progressive design build contracts that makes up that northern section. And between those different parts and a couple of design build and design bid build contracts, we will be covering the whole of the Ontario line in terms of contract coverage. On Eglinton Crosstown West Extension, we recently closed requests for proposals for both the elevated guideway and for a second tunnel, advanced tunnel up to Mount Dennis. And this sets us up for further contract execution and for completing the Eglinton Crosstown West extension procurement in years to come. Our tunnel boring machine tracker that we've implemented for the public helps people to understand where we are. And the first of the tunnel boring machines, which is Rexy, have now reached Martin Grove, which is the first station, and that's a milestone success for us. You know, I can share that on some days the tunneling progress, where we've had sort of a trajectory of about 12 meters a day, we achieved in the high 40s meters a day. And so the tunneling is going exceptionally well on Eglinton Crosstown West. On the GO expansion program, we are making progress along the Barrie line with improvements at Maple GO station, and operations was completed to support the bridge girders for the elevated guideway on the Davenport Diamond. And we're very excited about progress on the Davenport Diamond. Construction also started on the new Confederation GO station in October, and the station will be the next stop on the Lakeshore West line for riders traveling beyond West Harbour GO. And on September 23rd, we issued a public statement regarding the delay in schedule for the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. We are working closely with CTS to ensure that testing and commissioning and documentation gets completed, and we'll open the ECLRT once we are satisfied that it's safe and reliable to do so. Stephanie and Andrew will share further updates on how our capital projects are progressing shortly. But before I move on to the next topics, where Stephanie and Andrew will show you what the progress is, I just want to talk about community engagement and how intrinsically important it is to what we do. And I want to talk about the Hazel McCallan line and the installation of the QEW push box, which we shared widely with you, that push box enabled the construction of the LRT on the new underpass of Ontario Street underneath the QEW. You know, to support this milestone, our communications and community engagement team canvassed more than 350 homes, distributed more than 25,000 notices to homes and businesses, and made sure that it had a reach and a footfall widely throughout the region. Now, our work continues to be based and to engage and build stronger relationships and partnerships also with our Indigenous nations and communities. And at our last board meeting, I mentioned that we were entering into framework agreements with Indigenous nations and communities that want to do that with us. And to date, we have 6 such agreements that are progressing and will be put in place in the time to come. A few weeks ago, our team joined together with 3 First Nations and visited the proposed 36-kilometer route for the Durham-Scarborough Bus Rapid Transit project. The site visit included 21 stops and key environmental and archaeological sites across the route. And these types of insights and collaboration is now standard on our projects. And with regard to regional partnerships, we continue to engage with municipalities wherever we go and transit agencies in developing long-term fare and service integration solutions. We will be bringing further options like this to the board and to the public in the years to come. And it takes everyone in an organization to continually strengthen our safety culture. We are continuing our work with Operation Lifesaver to increase rail safety education and partnering with communities. Rail safety in communities is not often well understood, and it's really important to ensure people understand the railway is a dangerous place. We also focus on educating our staff to identify and report events on the railway. And the recent Excellence Awards that the Chair referred to is a reflection on how our people take safety seriously. So Metrolinx has once again also been recognized as one of Canada's most admired corporate cultures by Waterstone Canada. Awards like that is fantastic. It's also a very good indication that so much more to do and further to go. And we never accept any of these awards as an achievement in itself. It's a starting point for the next chapter of what we can do. And so with that, I would like to say, Chair, thank you very much. That's my opening remarks, and perhaps hand over to Andrew Hope to take us forward.
Let me first ask, is there any questions on this report? Yes, Brian.
Don, yes, I do have a question. It was triggered by your comments about Eglinton Crosstown and saying how we have to make sure we do the testing and commissioning. And I'm sure everyone else noticed that yesterday the report on the Ottawa LRT was released, and it covered a host of matters. I think there's 103 recommendations, some of which related to testing or lack thereof before it opened. What are you doing to make sure that we learn lessons from that report that might be relevant for us?
So as an organization, we have kept a consistent review of the events that has happened on the Ottawa LRT, particularly around issues on the vehicles itself, and to make sure that those same vehicles that are going to operate on our LRTs are safe and reliable for operation, and that modifications are made to those systems on those vehicles that may have been problematic before. I think it's really important to learn lessons from equipment that operates on other networks. But now more than that, we've had an initial review, and I've had an initial review of the Ottawa LRT report, and we will thoroughly review the document and bring recommendations back to the board and reflect what we are doing on those recommendations by recommendation. I think the broad point for us has always been that an LRT, a transit system, is not about a lot of separate components. It's about how the system operates together as an overall tested and commissioned system that is safe and reliable. We follow this strategy very clearly on all of our LRT projects, on all of our GO Transit projects, and we will continue to do so. In the end, the purpose of these transit projects are to make big impacts to the communities they operate and work in, and we will continue to focus to do that.
Thank you. Any other questions of Phil before we... Andrew? Okay. Over to you, Andrew.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Very pleased to be here with the board today to share with you some progress that we've made in our rapid transit program over the past several months. And maybe starting first with Ontario Line, I think Phil covered some of the key salient points on the progress we've made over the past couple of months on Ontario Line with the awarding of our South Civils contract and our RSSOM contract, or Rolling Stock Systems Operations and Maintenance contract, which is a absolutely huge milestone on the delivery of the project and really a sign that we're shifting from planning and procurement and into implementation on the project. wanted to share with you today an image of the future Queen Station, which will be located at Yonge and Queen. This is a rendering prepared by one of the proponent, the successful proponent, which is now the Project Co for the South Civils contract, Ontario Transit Group. This is the rendering of the future Queen Street Station, where the interchange will be with the existing Line 1 TTC subway. Moving on to Scarborough, just wanted to share some progress that we're making on the construction of the Scarborough subway extension from Kennedy to Shepherd and McCowan. We've updated you previously on a lot of the activity that's happening at the launch shaft location at Shepherd and McCowan, but we thought we'd take a bit of an image now that construction's starting to take place along the corridor and show you some of the other examples of progress that's happening. And what you can see in this image is the construction that's happening at future station locations, and this is the construction of the head walls, which are a watertight wall that's built at either end of the station, and that needs to be completed in time for the tunnel boring machine when it arrives to proceed through the head wall. So we've been making great progress, and over the past couple of months we've completed head wall construction at Emergency Exit Building 7, which is just north of Highway 401. And in this image, you can see the construction of the head wall locations at the future Scarborough Centre Station, just south of Highway 401. Moving over to Finch West LRT in the northwest corner of the city, we are making great progress and strides towards the construction of both the guideway and most recently, over the past couple of months, the beginning of the installation of the stops, the surface stops that will be in place along the project. So here in this image, you can see a picture of the stop that was recently installed at future Driftwood stop. The canopies, the passenger amenities are being installed, which is a great sign that we're nearing completion on the Finch West LRT project, which we expect to be done within the next year, and making great progress, as you can see also in this image, on the installation of the guideway and the overhead catenary infrastructure that will power the LRVs once the line is in service. Okay, moving on. I know Phil spoke a bit about the progress we're making with tunneling on the Eglinton Crosstown West extension, but just to show you what this looks like visually and give you just a few more facts here. On the left-hand side, you can see an aerial view of the launch shaft, where there's two tunnel boring machines, which we affectionately call Rexy and Rennie, which Rennie was the first to launch last spring. Has now completed about 2,516 meters as of last count, which is about 40% of the total tunnel drive over to just before Scarlet Road. And then Rexy, which launched back in August, is quickly catching up. It's at about 1,794 meters, or about 28% of the total length of the tunnel drive as of last count. You can see some images on the top left of what it looks like in the tunnels that have been completed so far, and in the bottom right, an image of the extraction activities that happen at the launch shaft site as the muck and all the material that from the tunneling comes back and is stored in a muck pit for transportation to disposal sites. And last but certainly not least, Phil referenced the Hurontario push box that was installed a few weeks ago under the Highway QEW in Mississauga. So this was a monumental milestone on the construction of the Hazel-McCallion line, and this involves basically creating a new crossing under the QEW that will accommodate northbound traffic lanes, which frees up space for the LRT to then travel under the existing bridge under the QEW. And what's really interesting about this piece of work, it happened over a 72-hour period over a weekend. The highway was shut down at about 11 p.m. on Friday night. We had about 20 or 25 excavators going at key times, digging basically a trench down, and this push box had been constructed and cast beside the highway, was slowly moved over the course of the weekend into position. Backfilling occurred, and then the highway was open for traffic on Monday morning. So something that would have taken months to do using more traditional construction methods was completed over the course of 72 hours. And because we had Here, Ontario Street closed down under the QEW. The contractor also took advantage of that to complete some major water and sewer work in the area that, again, would have taken, under normal circumstances with lane closures and other things, probably several months to complete, was all done in about 400 meters of major sewer line relocation, all completed in about 72 hours. So great progress there. And we have a time-lapse video, I believe, to show you what this looked like over the course of the weekend. And I should mention that box structure that you see being hydraulically moved into position weighs about 5,800 tons, so quite a massive undertaking. And there you see the highway completed at the end with the box in place. Well, and just before I close off, we will be doing a second operation like this on the Hazel-McCallion line, further south where the line crosses under the Lakeshore West line at Port Credit. We'll be doing a very similar process to move a push box that's been constructed beside the Lakeshore West corridor under the box to create the passage for the LRT tracks under our Lakeshore line.
Right next to where the new station is going to be.
Right exactly next to it. So, okay. So I'll stop there and ask if there's any questions.
When you see that box going in, it's amazing that happened in 72 hours.
It's a tangible, very tangible sign of progress when you see something.
800 tons, man.
Don't drop that on your toes.
Yeah.
Don, it is amazing technology. Approximately when will the Lakeshore West push box be undertaken?
So we're just doing final preparations. They've already been working on everything that has to happen to facilitate that push box, installing beams and other support structures under the tracks. So we expect that the Lakeshore East will be done by the end of the year. We're just coordinating exactly the best time to do it from a planning perspective with our rail operations team.
Your conceptual image of the Queen subway, or sorry, LRT, whatever it is, Ontario line, showed barriers.
It does.
And is that in the specification? Has that been determined, or is that under discussion?
And no, it's absolutely confirmed there will be platform edge doors at all stations on the Ontario line, and that's been part of the plan for.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Great.
Any other questions?
Didn't notice that.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
That's a huge safety.
So the next item, Stephanie. On the going up capital projects.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everybody. I'll begin by highlighting some of the important work that is happening across the GO network. And by no means is this a complete view of all the work that's taking place, but will give a sense of progress overall on our ongoing improvements as we work towards GO expansion on our existing system. Phil already mentioned this, but I'll expand on his CEO report. We'll start in Hamilton, where the new Confederation GO station will add to an already expanding rail transit network in that city. Construction on this new station officially began in early October, and the future station will be located in the east end of Hamilton on Centennial Parkway North near the QEW. The Confederation GO site has already been serving GO Bus customers since 2019, and the project that we're undertaking now will add rail service and further amenities to a site that already has parking. Once built, the rail station will feature a fully accessible island platform, pedestrian tunnel, and passenger pickup and drop-off, as well as expanded parking. Moving from the west end of the network to the east, on the Lakeshore East line, we're progressing well with station improvements work that will add accessibility features to and other station improvements to the Eglinton GO station. And earlier this fall, our contractor Canadian used an innovative construction technique to support the installation of a canopy structure at the south platform at this station. The canopy, approximately 130 meters long, was built in 4 segments in a staging area away from the tracks off of the rail corridor, and then lifted into place via crane across the tracks and above the station's south platform. The largest segment weighed over 45 tons, no comparison to the push box at Hazel McCallion, but nonetheless an important feat. And while the canopy may be a small piece of infrastructure in the grand scheme of what we're trying to achieve overall on the GO expansion program, it's a demonstration of new and innovative construction techniques that are key to minimizing disruption to our ongoing operations while we increase construction in our corridors in the coming years, and as we drive towards service and customer amenity improvements overall. The same technique will be used in the coming months to install a canopy over the north platform as well. Back downtown at Union Station, in the past we've shared periodic updates on our Union Station enhancement project, which, as a reminder, is our first alliance contract in Canadian Transit. Improvements at Union Station are being completed in phases and will allow for 100 trains per hour, more than twice the current level, to serve the station once we are complete all of our GO expansion improvements. Through October, the demolition of existing platforms 24-25 and 26-27 was completed. Those platforms are in the area, the main area of the photograph here, where you just now effectively see rubble and some construction machinery. And the demolition of track slabs also began in mid-November. Next up at USEP is our piling work, where we'll be driving approximately 55 caissons that will serve to allow the excavation of the concourse underneath that area and the reconstruction of platforms and tracks above. How our customers access and experience our stations is also a major focus of GO expansion. And another major milestone occurred this past September when we reached substantial completion on our early station improvements project. This was a series of work that was undertaken across 28 existing stations throughout the GO transit rail system. The project included a variety of scope, from adding secure bike shelters and to platform edge tile to new digital screens for customer information. And these improvements are important to improve our customers' experience by giving them alternative ways to get to the stations, by improving safety overall in how they experience the station, and to increase their access to real-time information. The scope of work was completed while maintaining full operations at all of our stations, and we're looking to final completion of this work at the end of this year. And lastly, I'll speak a little bit about Davenport Diamond, also following on from Phil's CEO report. Over a weekend in October, the Davenport Diamond project completed the installation of a steel bridge structure over Wallace Avenue in Toronto's West End. Installation represented the final segment of over 1 kilometre of continuous grade separation structure. So the structure is now continuous from end to end. Rails are being installed on the guideway, and the next step will be commissioning this grade separation structure into active rail operations, taking a very important and constraining piece of our existing infrastructure, the Davenport Diamond, out of commission and bringing increased resiliency to our operations. I'm hoping that next time I'm back at the board to report on progress, we'll be able to show a picture of our trains running across the new infrastructure. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Any questions of Stephanie? Brian?
Back on the early station improvements, you mentioned a term that I had not heard before, platform or etched tiles. Is that so you can feel with your feet
Exactly.
where you are?
Yeah. It's we're working on getting it at all of our stations. It's in existence mostly at Union. I think most of the platforms have it. It's the accessible
the little
corrugated bumps that you see. Yeah.
That's what it
It's
is.
like what you
Bright-
do on sidewalks now.
Exactly.
right?
Bright yellow.
Yeah.
And,
So it's those little bumps that.
yes.
They were
Exactly.
invented in Toronto.
They were invented in Toronto, eh? Wow, interesting. Yes?
Thank you, Stephanie. And I agree with Brian. The team should be commended on its work at Union Station. I mean, the opening of the concourses, the outer track and platform construction that's underway, I think is unbelievable to say the least. The other thing that we continue to get positive feedback on is the Up Express. But my question is, there's been statements around Pearson Airport and connectivity to Pearson Airport. Can you just give an update on what our thinking is around that?
Yeah. So overall, within GO expansion, we're looking at improvements to frequencies across the network. That's part of the overall ambition to bring more frequency electrified service to 5 of our 7 rail lines, and our service to Pearson includes that view. Just earlier this year, in April, we kicked off our development phase with our on-corridor partner, On Express, and with them over the next 2 years, we'll be working on understanding the exact train service patterns that we'll be targeting over the next 10 years, effectively, to increase those frequencies. That does include the current what we're branding as our up service at the moment, and so we're looking at increasing frequencies there as well.
And if I may, Chair, there is also a lot of interest in the LRTs and potential, ability to connect to Pearson. What is the thinking around that?
I can't comment on the LRT. I'll pass to Phil on that.
Yeah.
So we're making really good.
I think the statement from Metrolinx is likely, but a lot of funding and things have to be.
We're making a lot of progress with stakeholders and communities on extending the Eglinton Crosstown West extension all the way from Renforth to Pearson. And that's a very exciting piece of work that we're doing now to get the engineering work done and get that project delivery ready for in the future when funding is available.
Great.
So that would then mean that the LRT connection to the airport is achieved across Eglinton, but together with what we do on Go Expansion, to expand the service of Up Express to more stops that will be connected into a service that's run into the airport, not just the limited stops as today through Up Express.
Excellent. And are we, do we provide updates on this on our website and so forth? Because there seems to be a lot of interest out there in just understanding, steps and.
We do.
Good, perfect. Thank you. Excellent.
Yes.
Just Stephanie, and Robert talked about the new Go concourse, which is absolutely quite fabulous. But the first time I walked into it, I got totally lost and turned around. I mean, it's just big and new and whatever. And so, I witnessed a number of other people wandering around looking lost in there. So you might want to, I know there's lots of signs and that kind of stuff, but just take a look at whether there's more that can be done on that, about which way does one go to get out or to go to, anyway, to connect other things. So just a suggestion, but it is fabulous to see it, to see what it is now as opposed to what it was.
So I think we'll ask Martin, who's been doing work with his team on this, to just give us a few thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really good question. We've been doing a stations audit of wayfinding and amenities at stations, washrooms, lighting, signage, help points across all of our stations. Got a big improvement plan planned for December and January going into the new year to improve wayfinding, lighting, use of washrooms, shelters, heating, all the things that customers need and would want. So we start the improvement plan from this month, in fact.
Thank you.
And we've been having comments from communities as well, haven't we, Martin? Sort of.
Yeah, lots of comments about, washroom availability and shelters as it gets colder. And so things that we've taken on, things that we've addressed, and we'll see lots of improvements very quickly.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much. Thanks, Martin.
Thank you.
Okay, our next topic is Let's Get Ready to Ride, and I think Sharon's going to lead the charge.
I have company today, Rick Rodofsky. So good morning. Thank you so much for having us here. We will cover a couple of things today. We'll top line some of our ridership highlights. We'll share a short video, though I think it will pale in comparison to Andrew's pretty awesome time-lapse video. And we'll also just take a quick look at 3 key items: post-secondary, our non-fare sales partnerships, and then an update on Presto Perks. So with that, we have had obviously a great September, a great mid-year. I want to break down those ridership highlights just a little bit. So leisure, sports, events, concerts, really driven by the Go Beyond campaign, helped to see weekend recovery at 93.6%, which is really strong through September, when we start to see a bit of a seasonal shift down as people kind of change their trip purposes back to work. and school. And as people are settling back into this hybrid model or this mode of work, we're seeing business travel return, but a bit slower. Recovery was up 41% for those weekday peak trips through September. So we are striking a task force, a One More Right task force, to really try and get that frequency up, because as Phil quite rightly mentioned, frequency is a big focus for us. We have about 96% of Presto users are active, but really it's about 66% of them at 1 to 2 trips per week. So we really want to push those a little bit more. But the really encouraging news was seeing the youth Gen Z student market come back. They're really outpacing all the other cohorts. 78% recovery for that concession, which is really, really strong, and a credit to the team back at the office who are pushing that youth marketing campaign. So with that, I'd like to play just our short video of the last couple of months of activities.
Why not just go with Go Transit?
Wholesome day with me in Toronto. I started the day at Union Station and met up with my goofy little brother so we could go visit our cousins in Markham.
Video.
Thank you so much. A lot of work from the team over the last couple of months. That's just the last couple of months. So as I mentioned previously, really strong recovery of that youth and student market. Our campaign has delivered 40 million impressions to date across social and digital, and about 78,000 visits to our web. But what we do see an opportunity to move the needle further on awareness. There's still quite low awareness of both Go among that segment and also of the concession. So this week we actually launched some mass driving assets, online video and cinema, a spot called Carsick, which positions Go as the remedy to all those pain points of driving and car ownership. And additionally, over the coming months, we will be developing a strategy to target international students specifically. We're expecting 640,000 students to Canada just next year alone. The majority of them will settle in Ontario, and up to 90% of them will stay. So from a customer lifetime value, they are a very important market for us. So we'll be focused on building a very strong brand relationship with them.
Sharon, perhaps for the board's benefit, do you want to perhaps share a quick few thoughts just on the multilingual, multicultural marketing that we have done and the extent of it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to. We really focused down on multicultural about 18 months ago, and over the course of the last year and a half, we've had incredible success. We went from probably investing about 2% of our marketing dollars into multicultural, and now it's up to over 20% across 6 specific segments that we've identified as key ethnic markets within the region that we serve. And we have just actually struck our second EDI Champions Division Committee for Marketing, about 16 very passionate people on our team that are driving our action planning from 23 through to 25. So we're looking at more multicultural event participation, really augmenting our campaigns, more partners that, and Pumpkin Card from Presto is actually one of them that Rick will talk about, that really focuses in on those segments. So we're very excited about it. I think all I would say most importantly for you to take away is that multicultural marketing is mainstream marketing. When we look at the makeup of our region, it is so diverse and so rich in culture that it's a market that we can't ignore. So with that, I'll hand it over to Rick.
Thanks, Sharon. And as you've seen on this slide, and what maybe some of our in previous remarks I've already commented on some of the great partners and sponsors we've brought to the table. It's a bit of a glimpse of what we're doing, and as we really welcome our riders back as ridership recovers, our main goal and objective from a non-fare revenue standpoint really is to produce additional value to our riders' journey through the targeted acquisition and participation of various partners and sponsors. And we've welcomed a number of new partners this year, including what we've highlighted already with Pure Later and Legible, and we're excited about the opportunity to announce new partners in the next 12 to 18 months that we really think are not only going to be critical to delivering non-fare revenue, but also to enhance our customers' experience. One of these key areas is our retail strategy, and which is really designed to not only provide high-quality food and beverage offerings to our riders, but it's also to eliminate specific pain points that our customers face day in and day out as they take our service, and eliminating unnecessary trips, whether it's to the grocery store or to local quick service restaurants. So we're really excited to announce a partnership with Fleets Coffee, a mobile solution that provides our customers with a unique offering of high-quality food and beverage, but also an enhanced vending solution that we've since rolled out to over 60 GO stations, which has proven not only to be beneficial from a financial standpoint, but also providing our customers with some really unique offerings that you wouldn't expect to normally see in a vending machine. So we're receiving a lot of great feedback from our customers, but also the communities that we serve, and being able to provide that type of amenity to our customers. And as Sharon mentioned, Presto Perks is a key area for us. So part of our strategy is also to deliver new retail and quick service restaurant type perks partners, again providing additional value to our riders in every capacity that we're able to.
Great, thank you so much. And on to perks, we have grown our partnerships. The last time we connected in September, we had 40 partners. We're now up to 54 partners. So really, really strong, really great offerings. It's supported by multiple campaigns, marketing campaigns to drive awareness. And since we have launched those campaigns, we have doubled awareness and also helped drive about 75,000 redemptions of perks. So we're starting, and that's just this fiscal alone. So if you're thinking about the holiday season, we've got some great discounts coming up, specifically with immersive light experiences, both at the exhibition and also at Stratford. Destination Stratford has been an amazing partner. They're also offering free first mile, last mile transport through Culture Cab from Stratford GO Station to the Lights Festival and through the Lights Festival. So it's a really great, as we embark on our tourism offerings, it's a really great start to those initiatives. And also there's tubing. If, like me, you love winter, I don't. Tubing at Chicopee Park is a great option for you. And we'll wrap up there. Happy to take any questions or any comments that you might have.
Okay, questions? Have any questions they want to ask?
Just back earlier on, you mentioned the increase, or we're almost back to normal on weekends, but weekdays are things. There was brief reference to the program with certain employers. Could you just describe that a bit more?
Sure. So we implemented a return to office business to business corporate program that was really designed to incentivize the everyday Monday to Friday commuter to come back more frequently to the office. And it was a program that we went out to market, a bit of a pilot as well to gauge interest from the employer base, but also employees. And quite successful turnout. We had 99 companies sign up, and which resulted in about 2.4 million in e-ticket sales, which showed us that employers really are looking for unique ways to incentivize their employees to come back, but also that the employer base, or the employee base, sorry, really is looking for those type of triggers and incentivize them to come back. So we are wrapping that program next week to great success, and what we're really hoping and excited about is what that next version looks like. So we're really focusing on that next step and being able to create a larger, more rolled out program that employers can jump on and provide some great value to their employees to increase that frequency of coming back to the office.
So the incentive was that the employer would buy tickets for their employees? Is that what it was?
That is more of what our spin is going to be on the next version. So more of an employer taking an aggressive approach and really, subsidizing that any type of discount or reward to encourage the employee to come back.
I think what's been fabulous, though, Rick, is we've learned a lot from this first program, haven't we, in dealing with the different employers, and employers have changed their views on what would work for them with their employees in terms of packaging. And so the next program that we're going to bring and discuss with you, not ready to do it yet, but we've got our ideas are getting firmly, quite neatly developed, is a program where we, together with employers, offer a type of a product to people that allows them freedom to travel when they can and maximizes our revenue. So we're very excited about what we're doing in this space.
I feel important. It reduces the carbon footprint as well.
It does.
So when does my Ajax station get one of those cool vending machines?
It is part of the rollout. Very, very soon. And
I think let's move that up in the
December 24th.
Yeah, December 24th. Work really.
That would be your Christmas gift. Anyway, any other questions of Sharon and Rick? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good stuff.
Okay, the last item on the agenda this morning is community engagement.
Thank you. Good morning. So through you, Mr. Chair, Trina, my colleague, and I are here to give you an update on our communications and community engagement efforts that we've done this quarter. Oh, so hold on. There we go. Okay, so over the last quarter, our community engagement team have been busy shifting into a space where we want to make it easier for residents to engage with us. So we're spending a lot of our time going to where our residents are. So as you can see on this slide, we are doing multiple things all at the same time. But the decisions about where we are and what we're doing are driven by the data and the insights and what we're hearing and our knowledge and understanding of the communities where we're building and operating transit. We're bringing over 19 languages to conversations at doorsteps through our door-to-door canvassing program. And this past quarter, we have held 49 canvasses and have had close to 3,000 direct conversations. At a doorstep, when somebody's not home, we're leaving behind translated materials so that that resident can pick up the phone and give us a call or can learn about our projects or know where they need to go. We also do pop-ups at tables and tents and fairs and festivals around the region and libraries. And this past quarter, we've held 288 pop-ups, and at those, we've had over 13,000 interactions directly with our residents. We also meet with stakeholders and community leaders to gain valuable insights about the communities that they serve. Over 249 of those types of meetings have been held in the last quarter. Ultimately, we're doing everything we can to ensure that our residents are notified of the construction activities that are going to be taking place around them so that we can learn about what mitigations we might need to put in place. So this quarter, over 4,000 construction notices have been issued, and we have reached almost 310,000 residents through our direct email newsletters. Lastly, we make ourselves available online. We know a lot of people are getting information through their digital services. So through email, chats, and social media, we're launching social media campaigns to drive awareness about our projects and ensure that our residents know where it is that they can go to reach us. So I encourage everybody, if they don't already, to follow us on social media, to sign up for the emails that we do send out, or phone or email us when you have questions. We have community engagement offices all throughout the region, and we are here for our residents to help answer questions and share information at all times. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Trina, so she's going to walk through a little bit of a case study that we've talked about a little bit at this table already, but she's going to demonstrate how all of these things come to life.
Thanks, Kelly, and good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. We're extremely excited to be supporting our transit projects that our communities have long deserved. The work we do in community engagement and communications is not always easy, as our projects are disruptive. We always strive to minimize the community impacts where and when we can, and we communicate early and often. I want to walk you through a recent example of our work in action with the Hazel-McCallion line push box, which required lane closures, as you heard, on the QEW and a closure of Hurontario Street over the weekend of October 28th to 31st. I'm going to share, Phil shared a few of my numbers earlier today, but I have many more to share with you that I'm sure you'll be pleased with. One of the things that we did to help this project along is we launched a proactive multi-channel strategy prior to the closure to install the push box for the Hazel-McCallion line, as you saw, an engineering feat unto its own. The strategy included a widespread canvass of 350 homes within walking distance of the QEW, providing an update on alternative routes during the closure, and the distribution of 25,000 notices to all homes and businesses within 1 kilometer of the closure area. A story was posted to the Metrolinx blog to support this work. It topped all stories this quarter with over 11,000 views, due in part to the geo-targeted social media ads that linked directly to that blog article. Social media ads received over 100,000 impressions and over 6,000 engagements, both stellar metrics for ads that ran over the 16-day period before and during the closure. There were also 10 stories generated from external media outlets like City News, Global News, and Insaga. Throughout the duration of the push, details and impacts of the work were added to the algorithm of GPS mobile apps Waze and Google Maps to direct drivers away from Hurontario Street and the QEW. Other tactics included 100 radio spots on the Canadian traffic network leading up to the push to ensure there was no surprises to drivers through the area. Paid print advertising in local and ethnic newspapers reached a total circulation of 521,000. A time-lapse video that Andrew shared from the weekend was launched on Metrolinx News after the work was complete, and to date has hit over 13,000 views with several positive comments from followers. The video shows not only great visuals, but also the complexity of the work to give folks an understanding as to why a closure of this magnitude was necessary to carry out the work. The Metrolinx team worked closely with our partners, like the City of Mississauga, to coordinate reroutes for MyWay buses, and MTO for coordination and additional widespread communication around the highway restrictions to ensure traffic and transit would continue to flow while reducing the potential traffic impacts on the residential streets. For the duration of the work, teams monitored the phone lines and social platforms to ensure if the community reached out, teams were available to respond to any inquiries in real time. The team also worked closely with our project co-Metrolinx to ensure a plan was in place in the event that the work was not able to be completed over the weekend. We understand that our work is not always easy for those living nearby our areas. The work that is done by the communications and community engagement teams is critical to the success of our projects by ensuring that communities, and in this case commuters as well, are kept aware so that construction impacts are as minimal as they can be. My most impressive stat, as a result of all of the proactive efforts to broadly communicate the closure to the public, there were zero complaints or calls from the community and media during the closure. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Wow.
That's good. Well done. Well done. Yes, Deb.
So when you link to apps like Waze, is there an ability to link a second time to talk about the project, so as opposed to just notifying people of the closure? Is there a way that we could get some exposure to fabulousness of these sorts of things? Is that something that happens yet, or is it something we could pursue?
I don't know the answer to that one.
I think there's always an opportunity to link back to a project. So when you're sharing information about a closure, but we can look to Waze and Google about whether or not you can also add a banner or a space at the same time so that it's redirecting viewers to our websites so that they can learn more about the project. And
Okay, I think, with all the things we've seen from several presenters this morning, the notion that you're not only finding out that it's closed till Monday morning, but actually do the live hit on the box and some of the things we all looked for because we knew where to look. These are all community projects that go beyond the physical community. It strikes me it's an opportunity for us to inform everybody of the tremendous work that's being done on a capital basis.
I think it's a fantastic suggestion. We need to come back. We need to come back to the board with this. Mark and his team shared with me the progress that we've made. We actually went live. Mark, do you want to join us? We actually went live with the new Metrolinx website and with our CRM system.
Yes.
And our CRM system, as the team discussed it, demonstrated some of that to me yesterday. CRM system have ways to have an active map that link back in from our overall website back into apps such as Waze, and I am way out of my depth at this point. But what I can say is that's something we can definitely take away, because what we want to do on our website is we want to have all of the cool stuff shown there about what the cool stuff are. And if we have an active map, for someone like me, it feels like a little bit of software coding or linking in it. We can probably get something to what Deb is referring to.
Real simple, and we did actually have a conversation in the Customer Experience Committee. The team has made incredible progress this year. The on-the-go alerts complete relaunch. The CRM system did go live successfully yesterday, so now we have, for our customer call center, a one-touch dashboard to know who's calling and why and how we can support you better as a customer. And when we start to bring on stream the fresh websites, starting with Metrolinx very shortly, we will be gathering data to learn more about everybody in an appropriate way, so that we can get the right messages to the right people at the right time.
And we could probably get this linking through of good messages.
Absolutely.
You sent around the stuff to the board, Phil, and I showed my kids and stuff. Like, it was exciting stuff. And so if you're stuck on a detour route or something, knowing why you're stuck more than just something minimal, it strikes me as a good opportunity for us.
Perhaps give the board just sort of a snapshot sense. The website technology we have had up to now is literally something like 10 years old. It didn't have search capabilities on it. It was, and you approved about 2 years ago for us to have the digital strategy to update it. That's paying off. We are systematically rolling out different products now that enables us to do this type of linkages and manage that customer relationship interface a lot better.
We had a chance yesterday as Mark said, at that committee.
Fabulous.
Anyhow, just a thought.
And I would just say a collaboration with our incredible I&IT partners, along with the marketing, communications, and customer service delivery team. So it's a real collaboration, thinking about one touch.
Good, thank you. Any other questions anyone has? Paul?
Just a quick comment. I was actually on the roadways when the ways actually changed, and I was sort of shocked and surprised in a pleasant way that proactive nature of letting you know what was going to be happening. So credit to the team. Mark, one of the things we talked a little bit about earlier in our presentation is just kind of the Wi-Fi experience, and that we've used some lean techniques and processes to actually make the Wi-Fi experience better for our customers. And I know it's kind of connected to community engagement, and Sharon, I think, was up here before, but maybe while you're here at the table, anyone you want to comment on some of those things we've done to improve that Wi-Fi experience for customers?
Yeah, I think we often forget that we launched Wi-Fi on all of our buses and trains back in September of 2020, when many folks were actually not traveling with us. And what we've done over the last sort of 6 to 9 months is continuously learn about the experience, some of the pain points, some of the opportunities for our customers. We've completed 2 mystery shops. We've actually ridden the rails with families heading down to Niagara twice now to understand the experience. And I think it's really informed a couple of areas of opportunity. One is about the importance of the content that is on the portal, the entertainment value of it and the quality of it, and we're working towards improving that, but also taking away some of the login flow challenges that have been, a pain point. And so we're going to continually improve as per the lean methodology, and we're hopeful that we can get it back to a place where it really is delighting our customers, and certainly content is very critical, but so too is the connectivity.
Yeah.
Other questions? Anyone?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thanks, Trina. Thanks, Helen. Okay, the last item is the quarterly reports, which we basically take as read, as more or less consent items. However, does anybody have a question on any of those reports that they would like to ask? Okay, seeing none, I will bring this meeting to a close. Thank you, everyone, for attending, and we'll see you in the new year at our next board meeting.
Thank you.